1 2 1 2 testing. Hello. Welcome to the stream, guys. Monday morning, start of the week. Happy Mondays, if that's happy for you. Just if anybody can sort of confirm the voice, the video, everything is working fine. I made some changes, so hopefully it will be working. Last week we've been having some disconnection problems, but hopefully this week we're not gonna have that. There you go, market's open. Let's have a look at SPY. SPY basically is gapping up today after pretty much a month of really heavy beatdown. So this to be expected, to be honest. Bounce was due on SPY. We went up to the lows of 357, 350, under 357s, just right at the 357s basically, and bounced off of it on Friday. So not Friday, so today's gap up is the bounce. So we might see some more continuation on the bounce up. We have a gap up, and then I'm thinking Monday being Monday, it might be a little bit choppy right at the gate. So we have got to be careful on it. So I'm going to be patient with SPY or anything related to SPY. I really sort of, at the moment, if I was to lean on to the shorts, it's kind of hard for me to say. Yes, SPY is in trouble. It is definitely clearly weak, but having a massive move to the downside, for SPY, this is a massive move from the highs. So we're coming from 480s all the way to 357s to the lows. So that's big. I'm thinking a bigger bounce might be coming. Even if it's a dead cat bounce, we might see some continuation to the upside. So I don't want to get caught in that by having a short bias. So I'm going to be patient with it. So that's that with SPY. But our stock of the day, probably the week, will be FNGR. So FNGR has been really moving, like especially on Friday. If you were watching this, it did a massive move. Today there was a really good opportunity for a high of day pre-market break, high of pre-market break. Breakout trades are very, very successful on this one. If you look at this on Friday, it was really, really quiet in the beginning on Friday, and then it started to really run for a rip, and it just never looked back. Almost every breakout was successful on it. So now we are coming into overextension area, but you have to remember this got a huge catalyst behind it, so it might still have a lot of buyers. So that's why I'm watching this. If I do get some sort of a pullback and not a reversal, so if I, especially around 440s, 430s on the pullback, if it starts to sort of give me some sort of a reversal on the pullback, I will look for longs on this. If I get the chance, obviously. But if not, I'm not going to change it. What's up, Zell? Morning, buddy. Happy Mondays. What are you up to? SPY is basically showing weakness right at the gate. It tried to sort of go for it, didn't. Right, carries on now. This might be the attempt to gap fill. Usually it could attempt to gap fill, but I think still SPY might be in that chop zone that we want to stay clear of. Having said that, this move itself looks very, very clean. It looks like a decent move, starter move. So I'm just keeping an eye on that as well. Rest of the big names like Apple and your MSFTs and Teslas are going to look similar to that. Look at Tesla, even cleaner move. So what's up, OSS James? How's it going, man? Hope you guys had a good weekend. I know I did. Apple is this Apple? Sometimes I have to wait for TOS to actually reload. So Apple basically is extremely strong today, relatively very strong. Look at that, taking high of day, whereas Tesla, look at that. So complete mirror view or whatever you want to call it. Netflix, not much. AMD is trying to sort of, yeah, get there. MSFT. So I've realized, guys, that it's due to my internet connection. It's the fact that my TOS is loading like this is a clear sign that my sometimes I've done some tests on when it comes to internet. So it's really, the speed isn't bad. The download upload speed isn't bad. It's just the stability of the connection. So I'm seeing a lot of drops, the jitter drops, and the pings slows down quite a bit. So that definitely tells me that it's it's to do with my service provider. So I'll have to maybe change it or upgrade. I don't think I can upgrade. This is the only one they had, so don't know. But yeah, that's your SPY and our wow, FNGR just doesn't want to look back, does it? Look at that. Where is it gone now? Okay, look at that. Whew. Guys, you can hear me, right? Can you hear me? 1 2 1 1 2. All right, cool. Awesome. So hopefully, have you been taking anything Zell on FNGR? I know you were watching this on Friday. Great opportunities on Friday. Today as well, pre-market, there were some opportunities. But if you were stalking this right at the open, beautiful recent sort of resistance break, as well as the swing breaks on the pre-market. Really nice, really clear. So I was also looking at CCL and cruises. So CCL, I believe, was it NCLH? Yeah, NCLH. All those cruise line stocks, they're going to show something like that. Look at this. I just this reminds me, this sort of price action is reminding me of those COVID times, the early COVID times, where this sector was completely hit by. So as you can see, really, like, although low price stocks, 720s to 670s, that's a big percentage move. So this might give us some opportunity on this one as well. Unfortunately, SSR is on, so that's something to keep an eye on. Let's have a look at the airlines. Airlines are let's have a look. Airlines are in trouble as well. There was a on airline, yeah. AAL basically was a 1190s. Could have been a nice trade there because it took out 1185. Yep, early entry, but that would have been a nice trade. So AAL looks nice, CCL looks nice, and NCLH looks nice as well. So all the airlines and travel stocks. Right, AMD and SPY is also looking still weak. Still weak. Yes, sir. I got Giselle. You're part of the elite, that's why, bro. Calling some decent shots there. Look at SPY. I mean, this is a complete weakness coming into it. I kind of wasn't expecting SPY to be right off the gate showing this sort of weakness, especially on a gap up. But what's happening is any gap up or any sort of bounce on SPY is completely getting rejected. So we can go off with that, but now I'll be careful. I mean, in this area, in the middle of these moves, perfectly fine. But right now, you know, I'm thinking risk the reward. If you're going to short it, be very careful, especially after this move. You may want to look the other way, in fact, these kind of days. In fact, this week, we might be seeing some sort of a bounce up coming up on SPY. Tesla. To be honest, I'm not trading Tesla much, but yeah, it's really massive gap down and continues to be really badly affected by it. Usually with this kind of gap, it attempts to fill the gap. At least it attempts it, but it never attempted it and just carries on. So is this, could it be this? It can't be that. There's, you know, if Google shuts down the Translate app in China, then what? There's no there's no other Translate apps in China. I'm pretty sure there are better ones there. I don't think that's a problem, but there might be some other issues. Yeah. Wow, FNGR, man. FNGR is like hitting me with a FOMO. And is it halted? Seems like it is. So people, to be honest, there's a lot of people out there who do this. Like, for example, Warrior Trading, is it? Warrior Trading, right? Ross. So Ross has got to be making some decent money on this one. Because his approach is quite simple, you know, and it's quite, it works for him. It really works, especially, you know, he's been doing it for a long time. He's got a huge follow-up, followers, basically. And yeah, I think these kind of sort of stocks, you should be doing really well. If he's not doing really well today on FNGR, I'll be extremely surprised. I'll be like, dude, he's lost it. Hopefully he's not going to call me on that. But yeah, someone like that could benefit from today's FNGR. CCL is looking decent for 690 short. CCL. Again, I'm a bit worried about SPY being overextended to the downside, but right now 690 volume came in on this. Actually, yeah, 690. CCL looking for 690. There might be other option as well, like AAL or NCLH, but I like CCL at the moment. We are getting bounce on SPY, so whether that's going to affect it, surely affects the CCL. There's two things wrong with this for shorts. One is SSR is on, which goes against shorting. You naturally don't want to have that. Even if you do have it, you don't want SPY to be bouncing. You know, if SPY was continuing to go down, then yeah. But SPY has taken out the VWAP, and now this might bounce even higher. Now, if it starts to reject from there, then CCL definitely I'm looking for short. Right? Dude, I'm like having a FOMO issue at the moment with the FNGR. ATXI is looking decent as well for a possible longs, but there's a difference is ATXI is getting pushed down quite a bit. Have a look at the ATXI. ATXI is getting pushed down big time. But if it does take that out, look at this. That's a squeeze, guys. Daily, look at that. That looks like a squeeze to me. So 15 break could be something there, guys. I'm just saying. So 1480, 1490 is just, but you got to be careful. If it starts to reject like this, you got to be out quick. There it goes. 1512, 1519. All right, you see the rejection coming in, but it's still early. It's still above 15. Okay, that's looking good. 1510s. There comes the pressure. Here comes the pressure. 1440s we're seeing. Dude, AMD is bouncing big time. And SPY is just, yeah. So, what are we looking at? We are looking at SPY bouncing. And in fact, it's kind of going towards the high of day. So this is what I meant by you got to read what's going on overall picture. And I want to come back to this. It's crucial that we understand this logic whereby we have to ask ourselves, am I chasing it? Not just intraday, but on a daily chart, on a bigger time frame, bigger picture. So this is what saved me from these bad shorts on SPY and everything else, right? So you got to pay attention to those. Take the overall picture into perspective more than just the intraday price action. Zell, yeah, you would get there. Don't worry about it, because what you want to do right now is you're in the process. Don't change anything, because remember, we are looking at FNGR. How many? Like, what's the probability of this stock compared to others? I would say about really low, very very low, maybe about 5%, if that. Now, your scalping works on the 95% of the time, right? Do not change if that 95% is working just because that 5% happened, right? Forget about it. It's not your type to hold, right? If you're really successful not holding, scalping things, then just stick to that. Do not change anything. Unless this takes a while. If you need to change certain things, like it happens slowly. It happens very, very gradually, right? So, yeah. For me, the fact that I hold these things really, really strongly, that's why I'm getting hit by FOMO. That's why it's kind of hard for me to see it. But hey, it is one of the... CCL, I might short it, guys. It's still weak. It's still under VWAP, and SPY is at the high of day. Even though SPY bounced, CCL doesn't want to go up. So CCL, airlines, and NCLH, those cruise lines, probably might be a better choice there. Looking into it, right? Guys, the volume is okay, or is it too loud? I feel like it might be too loud, no? I'm told that I'm never loud. Let me just put it down a bit. So my microphone is set to be receiving signals from far away. Maybe I should do it for the near side. Good for you. CCL I'm looking at. Just worried about that SPY. SPY just wants to climb higher. Just wants to climb higher. This is the high of day on SPY. Let's see if it does actually do something there. Any sign of rejection coming into SPY, I am going to be shorting those airlines. Apple is already broken, I would say. AMD is extremely strong compared to our SPY. These things are basically actually pulling SPY with it. Although Tesla is struggling, yes. But now let me ask you, you've seen Tesla, right? You've seen Tesla, okay? That's the daily, that's the intraday. And then you've got your AMD, that's your daily, that's your intraday, and you've got your Apple. Now, if I were to short anything today based off of SPY's weakness, what would it be? Might as well do some education here. Let's have a look at SPY. Okay, SPY is rejecting. So is that a rejection? This seems like a rejection. So CCL looks all right to me. 680s. '86s. 686 CCL. 686. So CCL I got in 686. And I'm just gonna wait for it to take out the lows if it can. Again, I'm gonna be watching SPY with it. And our clear stop is just around 7, even before 7. There's huge pressure around 7 area, so I might as well keep it until 7. So that's the trade, first trade of the day and the week. Yeah, looks good to me. Tesla is the one that we're looking for. My question was not answered by you guys, so I'll answer it myself. Is Tesla. Tesla is the relatively weak stock, so at this point it looks really good for a short right now. 45.69, 246s. Although a little bit extended to the downside, I just a little bit extended. Yeah, I would have preferred this to be not extended. We're actually sort of right at the close to the bottom of it, but it's just weak. It's overall weak. Yeah, definitely. I know. You got that anyways. So Tesla is looking good, shorting 245.80s, 60s. I'm gonna regret this, guys. I missed it. So I'm just gonna wait up on it. There's a bounce coming in on Tesla. So 246 is getting hit. See what happens. And bounce coming in on SPY as well. So 240.45, very nice, beautiful. That if I had gotten that, yeah, that would have been a much better entry. You've got to be a little bit patient with it, I think, 248s. But let's have a look at SPY. SPY is bouncing off of this VWAP, right? So this in itself might be the real move and this pullback. But look at the volume on this. So let me show you. So it's not very clear, but there's a little bit of a sign there that this might not be a pullback. You see this? That might not be a pullback. So we've got a main move and then we've got a pullback. But that might be the reversal. This is what we're seeing. So if that's the reversal, you are in a really, really good position with Tesla. Yeah. So in fact, I might actually take this to 46, 48. So I'm watching thingy with it. I'm watching SPY with it. I'm watching SPY about that